In this video, we will talk about fundamentals of Python program. We will see what are the elements required for writing a Python program. So let's begin. Python programs are basically a collection of elements and keywords and functions arranged in such a manner that produces a logic to perform specific tasks or operations. Python codes are constructed using some elements which are also known as objects. When arranged in a specific manner, this arrangement of objects give out a meaningful command which is then passed on to Python so that it can perform the command task and operations. So there are 6 fundamental elements of Python. These are variables, keywords, operators, expressions, functions and comments. We will talk about these fundamental elements in details in this video. Now let's talk about variables and data types. So first let's see what is a variable. A variable in Python is an arbitrary element or object that is used for making calculations. Variable contains some values that can be accessed, modified and used according to the requirements. These values can be of any type. Every variable has its own data type. A data of particular data type can be stored only in a variable with same data type. As Python is case sensitive, so the identifier assigned to the variable or object should be passed in the same case as assigned, or else Python cannot access it. So we have seen that Python is case sensitive. So to get the variables identified, we need to pass on the identifiers in same cases, or else Python will not identify them. Now let's talk about identity of a variable. So it refers to the memory address assigned to any variable object that is used for identifying or accessing the value stored in it. So identity of a variable object is basically the location of the memory where it is stored, or the name of the location where the variable is assigned. The identity name or the address once assigned to any object or variable cannot be changed. Now let's talk about types of variables and data types. It specifies the data type of a data that a variable can store. There are several data types used in Python programs. Let's see what are these data types. So first of all, we will see number data types. Under this we have integer, floating point and complex number. Then there is none data type. Then we have sequential data types, which has further strings, tuples and lists. Then we have sets, and in mappings we have dictionary. We will see these data types. We will learn about these data types in details. So let's see. So first of all, in numbers, the numeric value which are stored in a variable are of number data types. These are basically of 3 types. First one is integer. The variable that represents integer data or whole numbers are of integer data type. It is represented by int. Type can be both positive and negative. Python integers have unlimited size. Range of integers in Python is -2147483648 to 2147483647. For example, a variable containing integer value x, let's suppose, contains 567. Under integer we have another data type which is called boolean. This data type represents only true or false, 1 for true and 0 for false. Now let's talk about floating point. A data type that represents floating numbers or fractional numbers are known as floating point. It is represented by float. The floating point numbers are written with decimal point which separates them from integer. For example, a is a data type containing floating point. Its value is 3.506. So 3.506 is a floating point. Again, -4.7 is also a floating point. 4.0 is also a floating point. Point to be noted that a floating point number can be of maximum 53 bits precision. Now let's talk about complex number. Complex numbers in Python are made up of pair of real and imaginary numbers. These are represented in the form of x plus yj, where x is a float and y is a float j, and its lowercase indicates the square root of imaginary number -1. This makes j imaginary part of the complex number, for example y equal to 3 plus 6j, etc. Now let's talk about non-data type. So non-data type is a special kind of data type that represents a single value and is used in case of variables containing no data. Python displays nothing when command is passed to show variables containing non-data type. Now let's talk about sequential data types. So sequence data types signifies or represents variables containing more than one value or sequential data types. These values are ordered and indexed properly to be accessed. The index starts from 0 basically, and ending index is the number 1 less than the number of values stored. There are mainly three types of sequential data types: string, tuples and list. So the sequential data types are these data types which can store more than one value. We have seen that numbered data types can store only one data at a time, but the sequential data types can store more than one value at a time, which will be ordered. Let's see what are the sequential data types. So our first sequential data type is strings. String data types represent such kind of data which contains more than one character value. To represent any string value, the value of character are to be written in single or double inverted comma in proper order. Each and every character is treated as a single bit of string and are indexed in such a way that the index value starts from 0 and ends at number 1 less than the number of characters stored. Python uses ASCII codes to make calculation of characters or elements of string. Any value or bit stored in a string is treated as a character. For example, a is a variable that contains string data type. The value of the string is dcd #78 space dcd uppercase @ this type of data types are string data type, etc. Now let's see what are the ASCII codes. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. These are basically the integer representation of any character value. The ASCII for uppercase letters starts from 65 and goes up to 90. Uppercase A is represented by 65, uppercase Z is represented by 90. The ASCII of lowercase letters starts from 97 and goes up to 122. That is, lowercase a is represented by 97 and lowercase z is represented by 122. The ASCII for digits starts from 48 and goes up to 57. That is, 1 is represented by 48 and 9 is represented by 57. Any other character excluding these are called special case character and are represented by any integer from 1 to infinity excluding these numbers. Now let's see what are tuples. So tuples represents ordered sequence of data that are immutable in nature. A tuple can be represented by circular brackets or simply tuple and circular brackets. Every element of tuple is declared by a comma. More than one value of any data type can be stored in a tuple. Any element of a tuple can be modified once it is declared or specified. However, the entire tuple can be modified at once. For example, A is a tuple which contains 2, 7, A, ABC, #1, 2, DS and a list 1, 3A, 245, etc. Point to be noted that if a tuple is stored inside a tuple, then it is known as nested tuple. Now let's see what a list. Lists are ordered sets of data that are mutable in nature. A list basically represents such data which contain more than one value arranged in order and are mutable in nature. Lists are represented by square brackets and every element of list is separated by a comma. Every element of list can be modified and accessed individually. Every value stored in a list is addressed by unique index number starting from zeros and assigned according to the sequence of each values. For example, A is a list data type that contains the values 2, 7, A, ABC, #1, 2, DS, list 1, 3A and tuple 2, 4, 5, etc. A list inside a list is known as nested list. Point to be noted that lists are basically a collection of commas separated values. Each and every element of a list is separated by comma and can be identified by Python with the help of these commas. Now let's talk about sets data type. Sets are basically a collection of unordered values. Any element stored in a set cannot be accessed individually, unlike sequential data type, as they are unordered and are not properly addressed in memory. Now let's see what are mapping data types. Such data types which are properly ordered and mapped with proper and user defined identifiers or addresses are mapped data types. So our map dictionary is a map data type. So let's see what is a dictionary. Dictionary is basically a tuple which is properly mapped with user defined identifiers and respective values. Any dictionary contains a set of values which have unique keys and can be accessed with these keys. Any key of particular value stored in a dictionary cannot be modified once it is assigned, but the value can be modified whenever needed. Dictionary is represented by parentheses or DICT and circular brackets, and every value is written in the order key name is to value and are separated by commas. The values stored in a dictionary can be of any type. So these were all the data types that are used in Python. Now let's talk about type function. So this function is used to declare the data type of any value. If user wants to enter a value of particular data type in a particular variable, then he or she can use type function. The user needs to declare the data type and pass the variable name in bracket. For example, list within bracket x equal to 1379 etc. Values of variables. So the values assigned to a variable are to be passed in a specific manner or there will be an error. Further, a particular variable can store a value of single data type only. To assign a value to a variable, the variable name is to be written in left and left hand side, and then variable operator needs to be given in between the values. Then the value is to be written in left hand side. Equal to is known as the assignment operator. For example, a equal to 2, where a is the variable name, 2 is the value, and equal to is the assignment operator. The variable name of left hand side value is known as the L value, and the value or the right hand value is known as the R value. The R value is stored in a L value. Now let's talk about multiple assignments of data. For assignment of multiple variables at a time, the variables are to be written in order on the left hand side, separated by comma, and the respective values of those are to be written in right hand side in the same order, separated by commas after the assignment operator. For example, x, y, a, b equal to 4, 5, 2, 8. Here the values of the respective variables x, y, a and b are declared as x equal to 4, y equal to 5, a equal to 2 and b equal to 8. Now let's see what are the rules for assignment of variable names. So there are certain rules for declaring or assignment of variable in Python which are to be followed strictly while declaring a variable, or there will be an error. These rules are as follows. The variable name should start with an alphabet or an underscore. Variable name cannot contain any space. Variable name can contain any digit, alphabet and underscore. It cannot contain any other character except this. Any Python keyword cannot be used as a variable. Variable names are case sensitive. Variable name should be chosen according to the type of usage in program so that it becomes easier for the programmer to identify the objects. different variables and have special meaning to the Python interpreter. Keywords cannot be used as normal variables, so they cannot be used as variables. All keywords are in lowercase alphabets except false, none and true that starts with uppercase alphabets. See what are expressions. So expressions are a combination of some variables and operators. It generates a single value which is an expression by itself. These expressions are used to make calculations or pass commands to Python for computation of data that needs to be calculated. The algebraic and mathematical expressions that are written in mathematical calculations cannot be written in Python. Python uses different operators for writing mathematical expressions. We will learn about these expressions. Now let's talk about operators. Operators are some special symbols that represent computation. They are applied on operands which can be values or variables. Some operators have different nature of computation of different data types. Operators when applied on operands form expressions. Values when used with operators are called operands. Operators are categorized as arithmetic, relational, logical and assignment according to their usage and type of computational work done by them. So let's see what are these operators. First of all, mathematical operators. So the operators which are used on mathematical calculations are known as mathematical operators. There are mainly 7 mathematical operators. They are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, remainder or modulo, exponential and integer division. Now concatenating strings. Strings can be added together with plus operators. Strings can be multiplied or repeated by using multiplication operator. For example, if we write hello plus world, then we will get hello world. If we write hello and multiply 3 times, then we will get hello for 3 times. Now let's see unary and binary operators. Operators which need only one operand to perform calculations are called unary operators, whereas the operands which needs more than one operators to make calculation are called binary operators. For example, minus 6 is an expression which gives the negative value of 6. So the minus operator used here is a unary operator because it used a single operand to make calculation. Now 6 plus 2 is an expression which gives the value of sum of 6 and 2. Now plus operator used here is a binary operator because it used two operators to make calculation and give the output. Now let's see what is the precedence of operator. The mathematical operators when arranged in order have a procedure according to which they perform the task. This is called the precedence of operator. Now let's see what is the precedence of operator. First come parenthesis, then exponential operator, then negation or subtraction operator, then comes division, integer division, multiplication and modulo operator, then comes addition and subtraction operator. Now let's see what are relational operators. The operators which are used for computing the relation of any two operators or comparison purposes are called relational operators. These are also known as comparison operators. The relational operators that are used in Python are less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to and equal to. Now let's see what are logical operators. The operators used for establishing logic-based expressions are called logical operators. These operators are used for establishing logical relation between two expressions. There are three main logical operators, namely AND, OR and NOT. Their precedence is as follows. First comes NOT, then comes AND at the last OR. Now let's see shorthand assignment operators. Operators used for assignment of values are known as shorthand assignment operators. These are actually combination of binary and assignment operators. There are mainly 7 kinds of shorthand assignment operators used in Python. These are as follows: plus equal to, which adds and assigns back the result to the left hand operand. Then minus equal to subtracts and assigns back the result to the left hand operand. Then comes multiplication equal to, multiplies and assigns back the result to the left hand operand. Then division equal to, divides and assigns back the result to the left hand operand. Then modulo equal to, assigns the modulus using two values to left hand operand. Then comes exponential equal to, performs exponential calculations on two values and assigns back the result to the left hand operand. Then comes integer division equal to, performs integer division and assigns the values back to the left hand operand. So these were all operators that are used in Python. See what are functions. So functions are basically blocks of code which are written to perform specialized calculations or tasks. There are mainly 2 kinds of functions: inbuilt functions and user defined functions. So let's see what are library functions or built-in functions. These functions are basically inbuilt functions of Python that are present in Python standard library by default and can be accessed by the user anytime by importing the respective library. For example, list.append is a function used to append an element at the end of the list. Now let's see what are user-defined functions. These functions are created by the user to use them in programs. These functions can be either defined in the main program itself, or a user can create their own standard library and store those functions in the modules of those libraries. So these were all about functions. What are comments? Comments are basically some objects that are used for identification of elements used in programs. These objects neither affect the main blocks of code nor they take part in any operation. They are written by the user with the codes to identify the objects. To write any comment, a user needs to add hashtag before the sentence. A comment is basically a sentence that is used for identification of objects used in programming and doesn't take part in any operation or affects the main program. For example, x equal to 2, hashtag assignment of values. The sentence after hashtag is the comment, whereas x equal to 2 is the main block of code. Let's talk about tokens in Python. A token is the smallest element of Python script that is meaningful to the interpreter. A program or a code is actually a collection of tokens. Now let's see what are different kinds of tokens. First token is our identifiers. The name of any variable, constant or a function is called the identifier. Next comes keywords. The reserved words of Python which have a special fixed meaning for the interpreter are keywords. No keyword can be used as an identifier. Next comes the literal. A fixed numeric or a non-numeric value is called a literal. Example of literals are 2, minus 23.6, ABC, etc. Operators. A symbol or a word that performs some kind of operation on given values and returns the result are called operators. Next comes delimiters. Delimiters are the symbols which can be used as separators of values or to enclose some values. Example of delimiters are circular bracket, parenthesis, etc. Next comes comments on nodes. These are some sentence or objects used to make the identification of objects of a code. These objects don't affect the actual code. So this was all about the tokens in Python. Talk about indentation in Python. Python follows a special type of indentation to define the code. Since Python functions don't have any explicit beginning or end, like curly braces to indicate the start or stop for any block of code, so it identifies the beginning and end of code by its indentation. So indentation is the shifting of the statement to the right of another statement. In Python, indentation is used to form suites which are small blocks of code. A suite is a small block of code which is treated as a unit. For example, if a suite is intended with respect to its previous statement, then its execution depends on the previous statement. So this was all about indentation in Python. Now let's talk about user input in Python. So while writing a program, we need to fetch some input from the user to produce desired output from the user. The values passed by the user should be stored in a variable to make calculations and perform tasks to produce the output. Python provides some built-in functions to get user input. These are input and eval. So we will see what are these. First of all, we will open the Python. So input function is used to get the data from the user while working with the script mode. This function allows the program to accept any data from user while the program is running. Function input continues to read the line from the user until encounters any new line. So we will see how we can use the input function. So we'll open up in script mode first Python. So we will then take a variable x. We will pass on we'll take input of this variable while running the program directly. So we'll pass on input and then we will simply print the value that is entered by the user. So x, we will print the x. Now first of all we have to save. So we will save the program. We will save first .py. .py is the extension for Python files. Then we will see run it, run module F5. See, it is asking for an input, so we will pass on 45, and here it has simply print the value of x as 45. Now let's see what is the eval function. This function is used to evaluate the value of a string. It evaluates the numeric value of any string, evaluates it and returns the numeric value. If a numeric value is passed in a string data type, we can use the eval function to get the integer value of that particular numeric value and make calculations. So we will take integer value for the same we will simply then use y equal to eval of eval function x. We will take while running, we will take input value of x, integer value, then simply we will give z equal to y plus 2 and then print the value of z. So let's see what it happens. First of all, we have to save the same. We will save it and then we will run it. So here it is asking for input. We will give 23. See, it is giving the output as 25. In the input, our logic was like this, that it will evaluate the integer value of x, then it will add plus 2 and then print the value of z. So here we have passed on the input as 23. 23 plus 2 we are getting 25, so it has simply printed the output as 25. So this was all about the functions to take input in Python. So this was all about fundamentals of Python programming. This was all for today. We will meet in the next video. Till then, like the video, share the video, comment on the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.